Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Carry On Friends, the Caribbean American podcast. I'm excited because my guest today is Wesly-Jean Simon. Wesley, welcome to the podcast. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing, Gary?
I am doing wonderful. So why don't you tell the community of friends a little bit about who you are, Caribbean country you represent, and the work that you do?
Well, my name is Wesly-Jean Simon Simon, if you from the French Caribbean. I represent the Haitian community in culinary art in Brooklyn, New York. So I currently on Zanmi restaurant here in Brooklyn on Nostrand Avenue and in Soho on Spring Street. And we just opened a brewery with crafted pizza in Brooklyn again on Nostrand Avenue again. So we try to grow more in the community and present more Caribbean food, better culture, better food, better life.
All right, my belly. So what was the last place you opened? A pizza?
It's a brewery and pizza. So we brew our own beer in the neighborhood. Yes. And we do crafted pizza. So we try to accommodate the community. Like, we do a jerk chicken pizza. We'll do a herring pizza. We'll do pineal pizza and a griot pizza. So we try to represent all the culture in the Caribbean and give them something on the pizza.
That is amazing. All right. So before we get into that, right, tell me about what life was like for you growing up in a very Caribbean, Haitian family community, and what led you to get into the culinary arts?
Well, I basically grew up in a big Caribbean culture in Jersey. So I went to high school in Jersey and I moved to Brooklyn about 15 years ago. My biggest influence is just that I like culture. I love culture. Coming from Haiti, it's all music, song, and dance, and we all always been a happy people. And moving to Brooklyn, I used to live in Crown Heights in a more of a Jewish neighborhood. So I felt uncomfortable. Whenever I walk outside, I couldn't find nothing to eat. And I wanted to live in a better community where I can walk outside, speak Creole, speak some type of patois, and enjoy my people and my culture. Because after being in college, being in Jersey, living amongst everybody else, I wanted to come home. So I decided to move to Flatbush about 7 years ago. So when I walk outside my door, there's jerk chicken, there's different type of roti, there's Haitian beef patty, there's Jamaican beef patty. So on my way to work as an executive sous chef for Hard Rock Cafe, I had to grab something to eat on my way to work. And I wanted to eat my culture before I indulge into everybody else's culture's food. So that's the reason why I love my Caribbean people and I love my neighborhood. And I wanted to basically open my restaurant in my neighborhood so I could let them taste a part of my culture.
I am so excited for you and excited that you are on this podcast because as we get more globalized and everyone is getting to know our culture, on one hand, this is part of the work you do, right? You're creating meals for us, but you also want people outside our culture to experience our food. So, how do you balance the authenticity of our culture with sharing that culture with the world? How do you balance that?
But let's just dig into jerk chicken, right? If you go to Jamaica, you can get a jerk chicken sandwich.
I know that.
So just picture if you could get a jerk chicken sandwich. What is a pizza? It's a dough. Instead of a closing bread, got an open canvas. So you can actually paint anything you want on that canvas. So I don't take away from the jerk. I do not take away from the meat itself or the taste or the seasoning. I give you the same thing, but you just sit it on the pizza with cheese. If you want it with cheese, you don't want it with cheese. You want it with red sauce. You don't want it with red sauce. You want it with white sauce. You get it with white sauce, but you still get that same taste of jerk when you bite into the pizza. You feel like you're eating jerk on a pizza. So I did not take away nothing.
Well, it's not so much for you, non-Caribbean folks, when they do things of the culture, like, even Haitian dishes like griot, like how we expand folks to enjoy our cuisine, but not necessarily, I don't know what's the word, because I see it all the time on the internet, and I know you've seen it where people complain.
I can tell you all about it. I have an Instagram and I had a few videos that's been going viral. So when you reach 1 million views, that's when you start seeing the people coming out of the woodwork. We posted something about a Haitian spaghetti, which starts with hot dogs. We do ours hot dog deep fried first, then we take it out of the oil. Then we put it in a red sauce. Then we do it with spaghetti and everything. This video got 1.7 million views. And now you see everybody coming out of the woodwork. Oh, Haitians don't make this. Haitians don't make that. This is Italian. And you got people all the way in Italy commenting on there, talking about, oh, Italian. Then you got the other part of the islands talking about Italian didn't invent pasta. You guys claim pasta. The Chinese invent pasta. So basically, what I always tell people about food, there's no new meat under the earth unless we haven't discovered it. It's got to be under the ocean. There's no new rice, no new wheat, no new bread you're inventing or anything. Food is belong to the humanity. So if I'm Haitian, I want to develop something better and feed my people and to introduce them to something new. I'm not breaking away from the culture. I'm not doing nothing for the culture, but enticing them to try a different culture, the one that doesn't travel to see different culture, but make them feel it in a comfortable space. So if I'm doing pizza, just picture if I'm in Haiti, I'm doing pizza. Pizza is not from Haiti. There's not that many pizza shops in Haiti. But if I want to put the griot on top of the pizza, so I'm making you feel welcome so you can have that griot taste on top of something new. So I'm introducing that to my culture. I read an article about 3 months ago and ranking in food in the world, like, which country is number one, number two, number three. Haitians actually came out to number 58. And our food is great. The whole Caribbean knows we got great food. The whole Caribbean knows Jamaican banging on food. But when you see those ratings, it's because the rest of the world don't know our food, so they don't know how to grade us. So there's no way you're gonna tell me the French can cook better than us. They don't grow nothing in France. We all know that. They do not grow anything in France. Besides wine. I mean, I'm not attacking the French,
No,
but
no, 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 but that you touch on something that I literally wrote down here, where I've heard it been said many times that Caribbean food doesn't plate well because that's how they're ranking it, presentation. And I don't think that's true. Not forget, I don't think that's true. I know that's not true. So what do you say to critics who say, well, of course, Caribbean food, Haitian food, Jamaican, Trini, whatever food, it's messy. It doesn't plate well. What's your response to that?
well, it's how you take it. Like you just said, right? A chef that's well trained, been to culinary school. You can present the meat however you want on a plate and make it looks the way you want to make it. But the essence of the food you cannot take away from it. The taste, the culture, you cannot take away from it. But when you're looking at those high end chef how to plating food, the food don't look like it came from any country. It's just a picture on a plate. So that's why they're saying it doesn't plate well. It's because they're repainting the picture on the plate, but they're not taking away the taste from the plate. So when they say Caribbean food don't taste well, I have a picture in my phone that I don't share with people. My take on griot. I did a 8 ounce piece of pork shoulder, as ceviche, like I boil it down, make it like do all the steps with it. Then I cut it down to size, make it look like a block. Then I deep fry it at 500 degrees so you could get like a nice crisp around it. Then I sit it in a bed of sauce with pickles on it. Then I use the plantain, I mash the plantain. I did some of the design with it. But a Haitian looking at it, they'll be like, oh, that's not griot because it's not small pieces. But when you taste it, it tastes exactly like griot. So it's how you present it on a plate. So day before yesterday, I was the judge on Big Bobby Flay. We're about to release it next winter. And what they were doing jerk chicken. So Bobby Flay was doing jerk chicken. And another chef from Florida that have a food stand was doing jerk chicken. And the guy is white. And he loved Caribbean food. He loved the people around it. And what he did, he married the jerk chicken with pickles, the Haitian pickle cabbage. And he presented, and he beat Bobby Flay with it.
I could see how that works.
But think about it. He beat Bobby Flay with it, and he presented in a certain way on a plate. And I was one of the judges. I was shocked. Like when I walked into the stage, two white guys competing about jerk chicken. So how can you say you got a top chef like Big Bobby Flay plating jerk chicken, and you said Caribbean food don't plate well? What is it doing on the show? So it's just that stigma that people got in the back of their head because most of our Caribbean food, because the island is so hot, we don't do that much restaurant. Everything we do is outdoor. You hang out. So all the food basically becoming more street food than in restaurant food. Because we are outdoor people, we under the sun people. So when people talking like that, when you came from Haiti, with the hardship of the war, what's going on in Haiti, now There's barely any restaurant. There's no movie theater. There's no culinary arts restaurants. And people can lose that sense of like, we can do this well. My job in this community is to represent my culture and be like, hey, we can do this too. We can paint a picture. Don't get it messed up.
I feel the same way. It's like, you remember the commercial, anything you can do, I can do better. Yeah, that's how I feel. I feel like we rise to the occasion. That's the culture of what we come from collectively, that we can do this. It's amazing. It's beautiful. Like I remember years ago, there was a discussion friends and I were having that the concept of combining cocoa and milk to make hot chocolate was discovered in Jamaica. And people are like, no, that's not true. And the story behind it was that the enslavers, they couldn't stomach the cocoa. So the slaves, they added milk to kind of ease the flavor, and that's how it got exported and became hot chocolate. And it's almost as if the conversation is like a little place like that couldn't have made such a discovery.
I think it's not even white folks, In my position right now and what I'm doing, I can only mess my own thing up.
Hmm.
I don't think nobody else can mess it up for me. So it's not like white folks thinking about our food is this, it doesn't plate well. It's our own people that's actually knocking the way we plate our own food.
I agree. I agree because we don't always support, and I think it's the idea of what we see put out and what we are comparing our food to, but we just know that it tastes good. So it's this idea of it doesn't feel refined and sophisticated, and we complain about it.
If you're looking at the Italians, the French, the Spaniards, the German, they did not create no culinary art at all. They stole it from other countries. So whatever they bring into their table, to their house, is coming from our culture. It's coming from Egypt. It's coming from Africa. It's coming from the Caribbean. Even rum. They all try to claim rum, this, that, whatever. Rum wasn't created. It was in the islands. And, certain things like, beer wasn't created in like Germany the way they act like it was created. It wasn't. So a lot of people don't even understand. We lost the essence of who we are. And I'm the biggest advocate, like, stop talking about 1804 when it's come down to Haitian people. We are now, we need to do better. We need to stand up and stop dwelling on the past. Let's move forward and show them who we were and who we are now. But our own people is the one knocking the food, knocking the drinks, knocking the culture. Oh, why do you wear bright colors? It's in our culture. We invented Mardi Gras, not New Orleans, you know? So the Caribbean invented so much. And we brought culture to like the funerals in New Orleans. It started back in Haiti and Jamaica. We celebrate our people. So when you're looking at 1804, it started with Jamaica. When I tell people 1804 started with Jamaica, it was like, how you said that Haiti was the first week. I was like, bookman from Jamaica. Stop. The father of the revolution is from Jamaica. So the only problem we have between Jamaican and Haitian is a boat stop away.
We're all cousins dropped off at little islands, and that's it. But
It's like you live in Flatbush, I live in East Flatbush.
exactly, exactly. You know what I love about just this conversation with you? I really didn't even expect it to go this way. And I think it's this mutual love for culture and or cultural expressions. And, food is just one of those things because we love food as a culture. It's the kitchen, the fireside, every occasion we have. What do we do? Cook. What do we do? Eat. It
You
is
don't go to a Korean person without getting some food.
exactly. It exactly. So what do you think? I guess food is like you said, it's a universal language, but what specifically makes it extra special as we are in the fusion of what's Brooklyn and bringing all of these cultures together? What makes it even so much more yummy and dynamic and interesting and communal with all of these flavors coming together? What is your perspective?
When you come down with flavors, we invented flavor in the islands. We brought flavor to America. But let's go further. Christopher Columbus did not discover America. It came to the island. So what he was looking for, spice. So when we do our food, we put spice. It's not spicy. We got blends of spice. When you're looking at jerk spice, you know how many seasoning you put in a jerk spice to get that flavor? Nowhere around the world can come up with that type of combination and make it work.
And you know why they did it? It was for the very basic thing. It was for meat preservation. That's really the original intent of it. So out of all of that is it's the ingenuity of it.
We give the world flavor. So when we bought the flavor from the Caribbean, we brought it to Brooklyn. We brought it to a place like Florida and like, Caribbean community in Boston or Atlanta. We actually feeding more people right now per capita. When somebody wants some good food, when they say good food, they're not running to Manhattan no more. That's what I'm witnessing in Brooklyn right now. They're not running to Manhattan. They're coming to Brooklyn. So Brooklyn is like, becoming a flavor hub for all things Caribbean.
Listen, I was just talking to a colleague and I was talking about how many years ago, how it was a diss to say, oh, they're bridge and tunnel people because they weren't from Manhattan. And now it's cool to be bridge and tunnel, right?
Guess what? That's what I told even Haitian people. They're saying like, oh, the white man did this, Haiti is so bad. I said, you know what, man? Let's just build our place, man. Let's build our city. Let's build our neighborhood. I remember in the neighborhood we are right now in Brooklyn in Horton. 3 years ago when we opened the restaurant, it was 11 shooting, 3 deaths. But we started doing community work. We started blocking the street, doing black parties. We start like, having like, city councils, people coming in the area. And like, we have great food. People coming from Manhattan. We're getting visibility from CBS, ABC, like New York Times. And this year, knock on wood, zero.
That's amazing. That is amazing. I mean, I'm so excited, audience. I do not know if you hear the excitement because this is the work that we all talk about wanting to see, and Wesley's doing that. So let's shift a little bit to talk about how you went from having your first restaurant to now having what, three business or the third business open. What was that process like, and what are the lessons you have learned, and what would you encourage anyone else to do as it becomes to opening a business in the community?
You can open any business in the community. You can open any restaurant if you want to. My advice, do not open anything you have no background in. Do not open anything you're not an expert at. Stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. Don't think you got a background in finance and you don't have $2 million. You're going to open a restaurant. You will fail. You will hate your life. You will hate the business. You will be like, what did I get myself into? My only thing, I did not have the money, but I have the experience. I had the expertise. So I'm worth 4 or 5 men in my business compared to somebody who has money but don't have the expertise. So you're going to have to pay 4 or 5 men to do that type of job. So my best advice to anybody, you can do whatever you want in life. It's your prerogative, and actually do it with blindness. But do not go outside of your lane. Don't paint outside of the line. Do something you know how, and you will be successful at it. Have some type of background in it. Because if you try to guess your way in the restaurant business, you will close. We usually call it grand opening, grand closing. Because believe me, it's a hard, from what they're saying, I haven't read it yet. I think it's the hardest business to open in the world. A restaurant business is the hardest business. I mean, it's the best business, the funnest business. It's feeding people, it's the love, the energy. But keeping it going, the back end of it is the hardest spot, especially in a city like New York. There's a lot of rules and regulation. There's a lot of violation you could run into. Even setting up a restaurant from scratch. Like if you don't have a hand wash tank in a certain area, it's a violation. They'll shut you down. If you don't have like a grease trap under a certain sink and run a certain way at a certain feet, it's a violation. If you store stuff, it's got to be 6 inches off the ground. Anything on the floor is a violation because New York State is after the money. So for you to operate, you got to be operating within the guidelines. And that's one thing I always tell restaurant owners when, like, they want me to come and consult for them. If they're a black restaurant, a Caribbean restaurant, I'll do it for free. Because I know you don't have the money. I'm not after your money. I'm in America. I know where the money's at. So I will consult for free. I walked in, I do a walkthrough by myself. I don't want the owner next to me. I don't want nobody, like, being biased of what I need to do as my knowledge and understand my expertise. Then when I hand them a 3 or 4 pages worth of violation, they're like, yeah, that's what it takes to run a restaurant in Brooklyn. And I'm tired of seeing, like, on my block alone, 6 restaurants close. beside hardship, health department too. And we don't have the expertise. We try our best. Somebody said you're a great chef or you're a great cook, your mom can cook. The next thing you know, you got some tax money or some money fall into your hand. You open a restaurant. The next thing you know, the state come after you. It's a dream crusher. So it's really hard. Don't do nothing outside of your lines. You got to have some type of knowledge. Like you being a podcaster, I bet you listen to it a million times before you get into it. So you make it your life. So that's what I want people to do.
You're right. It took me a couple of years before I decided to launch a podcast. From the time I wanted to do it to the time I launched it was almost 3 years.
There you go. So you have to at least get let's just say an associate degree in it.
Pretty much.
You know, there's a joke like in the restaurant business, like every time somebody make a mistake or there's a big type of loss, like, in the restaurant business, somebody lost some type of money. And we'll look at each other like, so you just got another degree in stupid. You have to pay for it.
No, but you know what? You just brought up an amazing point because there are so many restaurant closings, and you said it's one thing about the financing and the availability, but just like the regulations make it really hard for small businesses or small restaurants to even survive. So I think you made that was just a good point because I know a lot of us, we look out and say, wow, this restaurant is no longer here. And you wonder what happened, but you're giving us some insight and why it's important for the community to support the restaurants in our community, especially the ones that, are representing the culture. So now, what are you looking to do in the future with all these restaurants and business? I have to come and try it out because you are so excited about the food. I'm excited about it already.
Our biggest issue right now, me and the partner, is we growing so fast, and I'm a very aggressive businessman. Like in certain part, like if I find an opportunity, I'm not gonna let it go. The next thing I'm like, oh, I ain't got no luck. I'm not that type of guy. If it is an opportunity, I'm gonna jump on it. If it is something, I'm gonna try my best. If I fell trying on my feet, not on my back. So I'm that type of person, and I think sky's the limit. Because if I could look at the sky, I can reach out my hands and grab it. So I'm that type of guy. It's beautiful. It's a great thing we're doing right now in the community. We're getting a lot of praise. The back end is very hard with finance and everything else, like, payroll, like all the violations, what we got to do. The bills is mounting up. And New York City is extremely expensive. The rent is out of the freaking world. Now, we have three. We want to fine tune everything. So we were just busy, like, we got this one, we're opening this one, we're opening this one. So we wasn't paying attention to really focus. Like me as a chef now, I want to stop, take a break, and start doing culinary stuff. Like, like you said earlier in the beginning, I want to start putting pictures on plates. I want to start showing chef tables, special events. Like people can actually see Caribbean food can be played, can be represented in a certain lights. Because I'm being invited to a lot of different, like, shows and competitions and everything else. So I can be plating Caribbean food. Like people said, that's not inviting. So I got to start taking my time now to showcase. My next focus is start showcasing Caribbean food. Like, hit those TV shows like Bobby Flay, Chef Tables, Hell's Kitchen, whatever it is. Like I need to hit, like, next week I'm doing The Dish with CBS. So I got to represent, like, the Haitian culture, the Caribbean culture, Little Haiti, or Little Caribbean, how we have this great gem in this neighborhood and how can we invite the rest of the world to come see it. So that's what my next focus is going to be on. So when people are going to see us on TV, see us on the news or on a podcast, we're not trying to, like, blow up, make money. There's really not that much money in 2 or 3 restaurants when you have 2 or 3 partners. My focus is what I wanted to do first from the beginning. So I'm taking back to basic. I want to be a chef again, not a businessman. I want to be a chef again. I want to feed people. I want to show the culture to the rest of the world. Like, we on Instagram, people just finding us from Taiwan. I'm like, what the hell is Taiwan? I'm seeing people following us from Istanbul. I'm like, okay, Istanbul, you in the house? And they're having comment under us. So that's Istanbul that never had Haitian food, that never had Caribbean food. And they're wondering now, they're digging into our pages. Like when I'm in New York, I know what to check out. It's not about Haitian or anything. It's about Black food stepping up. Just like African food is doing their thing right now in Nigeria. We invented food.
So that brings me to the other question that I have. Um, the culinary arts. So most of us are home taught, homegrown, um, and not many are encouraged to formally go to school and perfect this art. So, what do you say to anyone listening, a parent, a godparent, whoever, to encourage folks to take their career to that next level? Consider culinary school, whatever it is.
I don't have a culinary degree.
What?
Yes. I've been trained by numerous chefs. So when you're looking at it, I was an apprentice.
Ooh.
I put my head down.
So that's the next question. How do more people get into apprenticeships then?
I can't tell you how to get to apprenticeship, but right now, to finish my story, I work with chef. I work with racist chef that throw a plate at me, but I had to learn. Yes, chef, just like you see on TV when you're working with a chef. He don't need your opinion. You want his knowledge? Shut the hell up and learn. It's simple. There's no place for cockiness in the kitchen. There's no place for arrogance in the kitchen unless you're running your own kitchen. The chef don't need your opinion. The chef did not put everything on the line, open his restaurant, everything he owns to hear your mouth, especially if his restaurant is successful. If you want to learn this art, you got to work for it. I got people that went to culinary school. They work in my kitchen when I was working in the city. I fired them in 2 days. It's not for them. Going to school for culinary doesn't make you a chef. Knowing how to like go to school, plate something, do it at home when you take 6 hours to make 2 plates doesn't make you a chef. Chef is agility, speed, and the know-how. If you don't have the agility, you don't have the speed, you don't have the eye for it, you cannot be a chef. First thing in being a chef is speed and agility. Simple. That's why chefs are very high temper. They drive with blinders. It's just like something click. They're on automatic. They're rolling.
You just use a term that you used previously, and I meant to ask you to clarify it, and now you bring it up again. You said drive with blindness. Tell me what that means.
For me, what it is with me, when I wanted to open the restaurant, everybody knows I could cook. Yeah, great cook. I got a chef job. I got a kitchen manager job. But can you do it? First of all, you came from Haiti, third world country, you're from the slums. You don't have the money. How can you raise the fund to get it done? Who are you going to listen to saying you can't do this, you can't do that? Because we grew up in a culture that nobody believed in each other. Because that's what they put in their head. Just like you're talking about the jerk chicken, the plating, the Caribbean food cannot be plated. We always seen the negative part of everything. So that's when you put your blinders on. I'm going to plate it. I'm going to get it done. I don't care what you said. I don't care what my mom said. I don't care what my sister said, my friends, my ex-girlfriend, anybody. I'll lose relationship to get this started. If that's what you want for your dream, get it done. Stop talking to people. Stop entertaining people crap. Stop. The focus should be on you. Blindness. Like you like a horse running down an alley. Until you get to that goal, don't stop running. Do not stop running. And I think that's how every Caribbean's supposed to be when they're doing something. Get to the finish line. There's a saying in Creole that the world don't care how you make it. The world don't want to know how you make it. They only believe in result. At the end, give them result.
Wow. 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 They only want the results, not the how. Okay.
They don't want the story.
Yeah, they don't want the
And
story.
the victor always tell the story at the end of the day, right? Doesn't matter there's 300 people behind me saying he's an asshole. I'm telling a story.
Wow. Wow. Was this is just such an amazing energetic conversation for me because I feel the passion coming through, and like I said, I feel your drive and this desire to tell everybody that we can do better and we're doing better. And look at what I'm doing. You are just saying that.
I don't care. I don't care. Whatever you're saying, I don't listen. You could be on TV, on radio saying how Haiti got gangs, this, that. I don't care. But I got a gang of food in my kitchen right now. And I got a gang of people coming outside to taste my food. So if you want to look at those gangs, But there's other people that want to see the gang that I'm creating right now. The culinary gang, the positiveness, the people that's willing to drop, the people that's willing to sit down at a table and showcase our culture. We are not what they portrayed us to be. We are not the slums. We invented, like, peanut butter. Stop playing. And we about to show you guys, we about to do peanut butter all over again. So I don't have the time to listen to the negative, like, with people around me, like friends and family. Oh, look, if you would have done, listen, you don't run a business. Don't tell me how to run my business. You don't even own a business. Go to your 9 to 5. I don't tell you how to catch a train in the morning. Stop. I'm driving with blindness. If I up, fucked it up. But everybody knows I wake up every morning and do it. I do 16 to 12 hours daily. Doesn't matter if I'm at the business or I'm at home responding to email, doing this interview, or anything. I'm driving my business every hour I get a chance to. That's what we lack of in our community. We got too goddamn comfortable in America. We need to stop getting so comfortable. This is not our country. We're going to take the money in this country and take it back to our island and celebrate. I always tell people I came to America with a suitcase full of clothes. I'm leaving America with a suitcase full of money. Nobody gonna stop me.
I mean, that's a great way to even end this conversation. So, what would you tell anyone listening if they come to the restaurant and they want to try something? And I know this is hard because all the dishes are your babies, but if they would come to Zami, right? If they come there, if I come there, what's the one dish you would recommend that I definitely carry and you have to try it?
In the past 3 weeks, because I've been asked this question so many times, I learned how to answer it now. Because most chefs never learn how to answer this question. So, as a black person, have you ever had Haitian food before?
I have, yes, I've been to Haiti.
So, basically, if you've been to Haiti, you had Haitian food before. Let's stay away from the typical norms.
Yes, the pickles and the
Yeah, the griot, the cabrit, let's stay away from it. Now, I got some good octopus on the menu with some good potato bedding with okra in it with a Creole sauce. How about you try that? I got a nice duck to die for. I tell anybody, I can put my duck against any duck in Brooklyn, maybe in New York. You could try the duck. We got ducks in the island. We love duck, but mine is not greasy, fatty. You got to strip the fat off. We drain the fat from the duck. Then we make the duck. Because, we from the island, unless we're eating fat, we're eating fat. If we're not eating fat, we want to taste it. So if not, you could do the soft shell crab. You could do something else. Oh, I got a Creole mussel with a spicy pepper sauce on it. You could do the mussels. But knowing that we from the islands, we eat all type of seafood to begin with anyway.
I love my shrimp.
There you go. You could do the Creole shrimp scampi.
Ooh.
See what I'm saying? There's something on the menu for almost everyone. I did not create this menu and act like, oh, we're going to do some 10 items that's in every to-go spots in Brooklyn. We got sandwiches, we got vegan options, we got everything. So we want the world to walk in and try our food. So if I'm trying to cater to the world, I need to cater to everybody. I cannot be stuck like, okay, we're going to do traditional way and just stuck with it, and that's it. And that's why most Haitian restaurants fail. You in America, you're not in Haiti. You cannot stick to the traditional way. You got to give the rest of the world that never had your food. So we got a sandwich called a Milo sandwich. It's marinated in jerk. That's a chicken breast tied, marinated in jerk. Then we grill it. We put it on sandwich with some pickled peppers and onions, lettuce, tomato, and some nice Creole creamy sauce, aioli. So people are going to eat that with some seasoned fries. So we never had Haitian food and try to play it safe. So we got to slowly introducing them. So next time they're at the restaurant, like, yo, we had the sandwich, man. I'm going to try the grill. So that's the newbies. But for somebody like you who've been to Haiti, let's go outside of the box right now. Let's start coloring somewhere else.
I love it. I love it. I'm so excited. All right. So, why don't you tell everyone where they could find you and follow you on the internet? And then I'll also make sure I put the links to the restaurants. And I want to try everything. It's like summer is coming, foodie time. We're going on a food crawl. I really feel so excited about the food. I want to try everything. So, tell
You know,
everybody where they could find you.
best thing about the word Zanmi. Zanmi means friends in Creole and in French. So Zanmi means French. So if you Google Zanmi, Zanmi, first thing what will come up is my restaurant. We managed to get to the top of the word Zanmi. So when people are talking about Zanmi, they're not talking about friends no more. They're talking about my restaurant now. So it's so easy to find us now.
Look at the synergy. It means friends. You're on Carry On Friends. We're friends, right?
Yes, yes, definitely. So when you type ZanmiNYC.com, that's straight to our website. And if you go to our website, it's going to link you up to the other restaurants. So the word friends, you just type Zanmi in Creole, or you could type friends in Creole to Google, that will show you Zanmi. So we managed to get to the top of the algorithm to be more like searchable. So it's that easy.
That is also a good lesson about marketing, SEO, all of that amazing stuff that happens when you're running a business and how hard it is and how long it takes just to get that top ranking. So congrats to you and the team for making that. And I am just really proud and excited. Love this conversation. I don't get to talk about food a lot. I love food. And so you coming on this podcast to just talk about our cuisine in a way that's exciting. And like you said, like, normally we get excited about food. When I go to Jamaica, I don't go to Jamaica to the beach. I go to Jamaica just for the food.
I'll tell you, I went to Jamaica for the first time last year, Montego Bay.
That's where I'm from.
Really? You from Mo Bay?
Yes, I'm from Mobay. And I so unfortunately last year I went because my father passed away and my
Sorry about that.
family, thank you. My grand uncles, they were known fishermen. And so every Saturday morning when I used to go and visit my dad, a lot of people came and they would want that fresh fish out of the water, the marlin, everything. I was just so used to that lifestyle and just, so my cousins made me lobster and they did scallops and all of these things and I was just like,
Fruits from the sea.
yes, yes, yes. Oh my God. Yeah, so you went to Mobe and I mean, I love food. That's all I do when I go home. I want to go to this place, that place. It's so I'm so excited. I love this conversation. Wesley, thank you so much for being on the podcast and bringing me some food joy.
Yes, yes, yes.
And as I love to say at the end of every episode, walk good.